Hello students. So today we are going to discuss Philip Larkin's one of the most famous poems, that is Next Please. Next Please is one of the most haunting poems of Larkin on death, which appeared in the volume The Less Deceived. Larkin says we are always excessively eager to know what would happen to us in the future. On account of this eagerness, we develop the bad habit of expecting or hoping for good things to happen in our lives. All the time, we have the feeling that something good is about to happen to us, and every day we say that it would happen soon. We are like the persons who stand upon the top of a cliff and observe a multitude of ships coming towards us. Actually, however, we see not ships but promises of bright and nice things happening to us. The approach of these promises, like that of the ships, is very slow and they waste much time. These promises do not materialize quickly and eventually they do not materialize at all, so that we feel greatly disappointed and miserable. At a distance, each such promise looks distinct and concrete, but with the passing of time, each of these promises fades away. We spend all our lives hoping for achievement and success, but our hopes prove to be false. There is only one promise and one expectation which never fails to materialize, and that is death. The title of the poem suggests that death is at the gates, telling each one of us, "Your turn, please." This is perhaps Larkin's most haunting time poem. Here again, the poet laments that life is essentially a futile progression towards the emptiness of death. The theme of his poetry is the harsh reality of life and the inevitability of death. In between these two are the ever recurring, never fulfilling days of hope and despair. Using an image of armada of ship for his symbol, he combines the sluggishness of life and the distant prospects in the same picture. The ships, which stand for our expectation, desire, wants, they move very slowly. They are slow moving sail ships, but well rigged and decorated, just as our promises. It is only after a whole lifetime has been wasted in this living in the future that the reality, death, is faced. Note the symbols which has been used by Larkin to bring out the futility of life. For example, he uses the metaphor of wretched stalks of disappointment, which means the futility of having a rosy picture, rosy future. What we want is that we want to hold a rose, a prosperous life, but at last what we have in our hand, not the flower or the fruit of our fulfillment. So the symbols used, for example, are like the glittering status symbols modern human beings with the brass works. And at last, Larkin says, only one ship anchors, and it is seeking us, the ship of death, which has no paraphernalia attached to it as compared to the ship of the Armada. Now, it is just a black sailed unfamiliar ship which is mysterious and in the colors of mourning, the qualities of death. The imagery of the huge and the birdless silence is also repeated right from the poems in The North Ship by Philip Larkin. Here, bird is absent. The bird always stands for spontaneity of life activity in his poems. The poem begins on a note of generalization that all of us live on future hope, but it ends suddenly with the declaration of the poem that only one ship is seeking us, the ship called death, will have to be taken as a pinch of salt. There is a touch of artificiality in the overall effect. We feel that it is touch and go with the poet when it comes to pathos and sorrow suckling. The greatest defect of the poem is that it is not well packed up. It is a tight rope walk on self pity with the pit of death below. Thank you.